Hello, and welcome to this quiet space we're creating together. Take a moment to settle in wherever you are, whether that's your bed, a comfortable chair, or any place where you feel safe and at peace. How was your day? Whatever emotions you're bringing into this moment, curiosity about the unknown, stress from daily life, fatigue from the world's demands, or simply the need to rest, it's all okay. There's no judgment here, no expectations. This is your space to simply be. You don't need to do anything right now except listen and let your mind wander. Tonight, we're going to explore one of the most enigmatic places in the American West, a ranch in Utah where the ordinary rules of reality seem to bend and shift like desert mirages. But we'll explore it together, gently, like turning the pages of an old, mysterious book by candlelight. Let your breathing slow and deepen. Feel the weight of your body settling into whatever supports you. Your only job is to be present with these stories, these mysteries that have puzzled researchers and visitors for generations. Some of what we'll discuss comes from documented experiences, scientific investigations, and historical records. Other elements draw from folklore, legend, and the rich oral traditions of the people who have called this land home for centuries. As we journey into the strange and wonderful world of Skinwalker Ranch, remember that mysteries don't always need solutions. Sometimes, the most profound peace comes from simply sitting with questions, letting wonder wash over us like a gentle tide. Tonight we explore not to find definitive answers, but to marvel at the vastness of what we don't yet understand. Before we begin our exploration, if you enjoy these deep dive sleep documentaries about the world's most fascinating mysteries, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving this video a like. Your support helps me continue creating these thoughtful, research-based journeys into the unknown. There are so many more mysteries waiting to be explored together. Part 1. The Land of Ancient Mysteries. In the high desert of northeastern Utah, where the winter mountains rise like sleeping giants against endless skies, there exists a place that has captured the imagination of researchers, scientists, and storytellers for decades. This is Skinwalker Ranch, a 512-acre property that has become synonymous with unexplained phenomena, scientific investigation, and the kind of mysteries that make us question the very nature of reality itself. The ranch sits in the Uinta Basin, a geological formation that stretches across northeastern Utah and northwestern Colorado. This basin, carved by ancient rivers and shaped by millions of years of geological activity, creates a landscape that feels almost otherworldly. Red rock formations rise from sage-covered valleys, while distant mountains frame the horizon in shades of purple and gold. The very geology of this place tells stories of transformation. Layers of sediment that speak of ancient seas, volcanic activity, and the slow, patient work of wind and water. Long before it became known as Skinwalker Ranch, this land held deep significance for the Ute people, who have inhabited the broader region for over 1,000 years. The Ute traditionally viewed this particular area with a complex mixture of respect and caution. In their oral traditions, passed down through generations, certain places in the landscape were understood to be thresholds, locations where the boundary between the physical world and the realm of spirits became thin and permeable. The name Skinwalker itself comes from Navajo tradition, referring to harmful shamans or witches who were said to possess the ability to transform into animals. While the Ute people have their own distinct spiritual traditions and terminology, the concept of shape-shifting entities and liminal spaces appears across many indigenous cultures of the American Southwest. These were not necessarily malevolent forces, but rather powerful spiritual energies that demanded respect and understanding. The Ute referred to this area using terms that roughly translated to the path of the skinwalker, or the way of the shapeshifter, According to tribal historians, the land was considered a place where the natural and supernatural worlds intersected, where certain individuals with spiritual gifts, or dangerous intentions, could access abilities beyond normal human experience. This wasn't folklore in the modern sense, but rather a sophisticated understanding of spiritual geography that recognized certain locations as having unique properties. As Euro-American settlers began moving into the Uinta Basin in the late 1800s, they encountered not just the physical challenges of high desert ranching, but also the persistent stories and experiences that seemed to surround this particular piece of land. Early ranchers reported strange lights in the sky, unusual animal behavior, and encounters with creatures that didn't quite fit into known categories of wildlife. These experiences were often dismissed by outsiders as the result of isolation, harsh living conditions, or overactive imaginations. However, the consistency of these reports across different families, different time periods, and different cultural backgrounds began to create a pattern. The land itself seemed to generate experiences that challenged conventional understanding. Cattle would behave strangely, clustering together in defensive formations without apparent cause. Predator species would avoid the area entirely, creating an unusual abundance of prey animals that seemed somehow different from their counterparts in surrounding regions. By the early 1900s, the ranch had passed through several owners, each of whom reported similar phenomena. The property seemed to attract not just unusual experiences, but also a certain type of person, individuals who were drawn to mystery, who possessed an unusual tolerance for the unexplained, or who simply found themselves changed by extended exposure to the land's peculiar energies. The geological features of the area add another layer to its mystique. The ranch sits atop a complex network of underground caverns, many of which have never been fully explored. These caverns, carved by underground rivers over millions of years, create a hidden landscape beneath the visible ranch. Some researchers have theorized that these underground formations might contribute to the unusual phenomena observed on the surface, perhaps through electromagnetic effects, unusual acoustic properties, or other geological processes not yet fully understood. The ranch's elevation of approximately 4,500 feet above sea level places it in a unique atmospheric zone. The high desert environment creates unusual weather patterns, with rapid temperature changes, sudden storms, and atmospheric conditions that can produce optical effects and electrical phenomena. The combination of elevation, mineral deposits in the soil, and the vast open spaces creates an environment where natural phenomena can take on unusual characteristics. Throughout the first half of the 20th century, the ranch continued to generate stories and experiences that defied easy explanation. These weren't typically the dramatic encounters often associated with paranormal locations, but rather a steady accumulation of small anomalies, subtle strangeness, and experiences that left witnesses questioning their own perceptions. The land seemed to specialize in the liminal, experiences that existed at the boundary between the explicable and the mysterious. In 1994, the ranch entered a new chapter of its mysterious history when it was purchased by Terry and Gwen Sherman, a couple who had no knowledge of the land's unusual reputation. The Shermans were experienced ranchers who had successfully managed cattle operations in other parts of Utah. They approached their new property with practical expectations: good grazing land, adequate water sources, and the opportunity to build a sustainable ranching operation in the high desert. Their first indication that this might not be an ordinary ranch came during their initial survey of the property. The previous owners had left behind an unusual collection of items: heavy chains, multiple deadbolt locks, and what appeared to be reinforced doors and windows on the main house. When asked about these security measures, the sellers provided only vague explanations about keeping things out and maintaining privacy. The Shermans, focused on the practical aspects of ranching, initially dismissed these oddities as the eccentricities of the previous owners. The ranch's main house, built in the 1960s, sat on a slight rise overlooking the property's central grazing areas. The building itself was unremarkable, a single-story structure with a wraparound porch and large windows that provided panoramic views of the surrounding landscape. However, the modifications made by previous owners had given it an almost fortress-like character. Steel mesh covered many windows, multiple locks secured every entrance, and the previous owners had installed an unusually sophisticated security system for such a remote location. Terry Sherman's first strange experience occurred just days after moving his cattle onto the property. While checking on the herd one morning, he noticed that the animals were clustered in an unusual formation, a tight circle with all heads facing outward, as if defending against some invisible threat. This behaviour, known as bunching, typically occurs when cattle sense the presence of predators. However, Sherman's examination of the area revealed no tracks, scent trails, or other evidence of wolves, coyotes, or other predators. Over the following weeks, the Shermans began to notice other peculiarities in their cattle's behaviour. The animals showed an unusual reluctance to graze in certain areas of the ranch, particularly in the southwestern section of the property. When driven into these areas, the cattle would become agitated, vocalizing frequently and attempting to return to other parts of the ranch. Sherman, who had worked with cattle for decades, had never encountered such consistent avoidance behaviour without an obvious cause. The family's first dramatic encounter with the unexplained occurred on a warm evening in late spring of 1995. The Shermans were hosting a barbecue for friends and family when several guests simultaneously noticed unusual lights in the sky to the west of the ranch house. The lights appeared to be moving in a structured pattern, too organised to be natural phenomena like meteors or atmospheric disturbances, but too silent and manoeuvrable to be conventional aircraft. Gwen Sherman later described the lights as appearing to be windows of brightness that moved slowly across the sky before stopping in mid-air and hovering for several minutes. The lights then began to move in what appeared to be a geometric pattern, forming triangular and diamond-shaped configurations before suddenly accelerating and disappearing beyond the mountain horizon. The entire event lasted approximately 15 minutes and was witnessed by 12 adults and several children. What made this sighting particularly significant was the behaviour of animals during the event. The family's dogs, normally vocal and protective, became completely silent and refused to leave the porch. The cattle, which had been grazing peacefully in nearby fields, began to vocalise and move in agitated circles. Even more unusually, the local wildlife seemed to respond to the lights. Coyotes stopped their evening calls, and the usual chorus of insects and night birds fell silent. As the months passed, the Shermans documented an increasing number of unusual events. These range from relatively minor anomalies, tools that disappeared and reappeared in different locations, electronic equipment that malfunctioned without explanation, and strange sounds emanating from the ranch's outbuildings, to more dramatic encounters that challenged their understanding of the natural world. One of the most frequently reported phenomena involved what the family described as impossible animals. On several occasions, family members reported seeing creatures that appeared to be familiar animals, cattle, horses, dogs, but with characteristics that didn't conform to normal biology. These animals might be significantly larger than normal, move in ways that seemed to defy physics, or display behaviours that were completely inconsistent with known animal psychology. Terry Sherman's encounter with what he described as a giant wolf became one of the most frequently cited incidents from the family's time on the ranch. According to Sherman's account, he was repairing fencing in a remote section of the property when he encountered an enormous wolf-like creature that appeared to be observing him from a distance of approximately 50 yards. The animal was far larger than any wolf native to the region, with a body mass that Sherman estimated to be similar to that of a large bear. What made this encounter particularly memorable was the animal's behaviour. Rather than fleeing when it noticed Sherman's presence, the creature seemed to study him with what Sherman described as almost human intelligence. The animal maintained eye contact for several minutes before slowly walking away, moving with a gait that seemed unnatural for a quadruped. Sherman followed the tracks, which led to a clearing and then simply disappeared, as if the creature had vanished into thin air. The family's experiences weren't limited to sightings of unusual animals. They reported frequent encounters with lights and objects that didn't conform to any known technology or natural phenomena. These ranged from small orb-like lights that would appear in their home during the night to larger, structured objects that would hover over the ranch for extended periods. By 1996, the accumulation of strange experiences had begun to affect the family's daily life and their ranching operation. The cattle continued to exhibit unusual behaviors, with some animals refusing to enter certain areas of the ranch entirely. The family's horses became increasingly difficult to manage, often showing signs of extreme agitation without apparent cause. Even their domestic animals, dogs, cats, and chickens, displayed behaviors that were inconsistent with their normal patterns. The Shermans began to document their experiences more systematically, keeping detailed records of unusual events, weather conditions, and animal behaviors. These records, which they maintained from 1995 until their departure from the ranch in 1996, would later prove invaluable to researchers attempting to understand the phenomena associated with the property. The Sherman family's decision to sell the ranch in 1996 marked the beginning of a new chapter in the property's history, one characterized by systematic scientific investigation rather than the circumstantial experiences of ranchers and their families. The purchaser was Robert Bigelow, a Las Vegas businessman and entrepreneur who had made his fortune in the hospitality industry, but harbored a deep fascination with unexplained phenomena and the possibility of extraterrestrial life. Bigelow approached the ranch not as a traditional property investment, but as a unique opportunity to apply rigorous scientific methodology to the investigation of anomalous phenomena. He established the National Institute for Discovery Science, NIDS, a privately funded research organization dedicated to the scientific study of unexplained events. The ranch became NIDS' primary research facility, and Bigelow committed substantial resources to transforming the property into a sophisticated monitoring and data collection station. The scientific team assembled by NIDS included experts from multiple disciplines: physicists, biologists, veterinarians, psychologists, and engineers. Dr. Colm Kelleher, a biochemist with experience in both academic research and government scientific programs, served as the deputy administrator of NIDS and became one of the primary investigators working on the ranch. The team's approach was methodical and comprehensive, designed to document and analyze phenomena using established scientific protocols. The first phase of the NIDS investigation involved installing an extensive array of monitoring equipment throughout the ranch. This included multiple camera systems capable of recording in various light spectrums, electromagnetic field detectors, radiation monitors, seismographs, and atmospheric analysis equipment. The ranch house itself was converted into a command center, with banks of computers and monitoring equipment that could track conditions across the entire property in real time. The installation of this monitoring infrastructure revealed some of the first quantifiable data about the ranch's unusual properties. Electromagnetic readings showed patterns that were inconsistent with typical background radiation levels. Certain areas of the property registered significantly higher electromagnetic activity than others, and these readings fluctuated in ways that didn't correlate with weather patterns, solar activity, or other known variables. The NIDS team also conducted extensive soil and water analysis to determine if environmental factors might contribute to the reported phenomena. They discovered unusual mineral compositions in certain areas of the ranch, including higher than normal concentrations of magnetic minerals and trace elements that were not typical of the surrounding geology. However, these findings, while interesting, didn't provide obvious explanations for the types of phenomena that had been reported. During their investigation, the NIDS team experienced many of the same types of phenomena that had been reported by previous occupants. Their scientific instruments documented unusual light phenomena, electromagnetic anomalies, and other events that defied conventional explanation. However, the phenomena seemed to be elusive, often occurring in areas or at times when monitoring equipment was offline or directed elsewhere. One of the most significant discoveries made by the NIDS team concerned the ranch's effect on electronic equipment. They documented numerous instances of equipment malfunction, data corruption, and complete system failures that occurred without explanation. Interestingly, these failures often seemed to correlate with periods of increased anomalous activity. The team began to theorize that whatever was causing the unusual phenomena might also be interfering with conventional technology. Dr. Kelleher's research revealed patterns in the types of phenomena reported at the ranch. Rather than random occurrences, the events seemed to follow certain patterns and cycles. Some phenomena were more likely to occur during specific weather conditions, while others correlated with lunar phases or seasonal changes. This systematic approach to analysis suggested that the ranch's unusual properties might be governed by natural laws that simply weren't yet understood. The team's biological investigations focused on the ranch's livestock and wild animal populations. They documented numerous cases of unusual animal behavior, unexplained injuries, and in some cases animal deaths that couldn't be attributed to predation, disease, or environmental factors. Veterinary examinations of affected animals revealed injuries that were precise and unusual, often involving the removal of tissue or organs with surgical precision that seemed inconsistent with predator behavior. One of the most puzzling aspects of the ranch's phenomena was what researchers termed the observer effect. The team noticed that anomalous events seemed to occur more frequently when observers were present, but not actively monitoring or recording. When the team focused their attention and equipment on specific areas or phenomena, the activity would often cease or move to other locations. This suggested a level of responsiveness or intelligence that complicated traditional approaches to scientific investigation. The NIDS team also investigated the ranch's underground features, using ground-penetrating radar and other geophysical techniques to map the extensive cave systems beneath the property. They discovered a more complex underground network than had been previously known, with caverns and passages that extended far beyond the ranch's boundaries. Some team members theorized that these underground features might contribute to the ranch's unusual properties, perhaps through electromagnetic effects or other geological processes. Throughout their investigation, the NIDS team maintained detailed records of their experiences and findings. These records, which span nearly a decade of systematic investigation, represent one of the most comprehensive scientific studies of anomalous phenomena ever conducted. However, the team's findings raised more questions than answers, revealing a complex set of phenomena that seemed to operate according to principles that mainstream science had not yet identified or understood. The investigation also revealed the psychological impact of extended exposure to unexplained phenomena. Team members reported changes in their perception, heightened sensitivity to subtle environmental changes, and in some cases, experiences that seemed to bridge the gap between objective observation and subjective encounter. These psychological effects became an important part of the team's research, as they attempted to understand the relationship between consciousness and the phenomena they were investigating. By the mid-2000s, the NIDS investigation had produced a substantial body of data and documentation, but had not arrived at definitive explanations for the ranch's unusual properties. The team's findings suggested that the ranch was indeed a location where conventional understanding of physics, biology, and consciousness was challenged by phenomena that operated according to different principles. The ranch's transition from private scientific investigation to government interest represents one of the most intriguing chapters in its modern history. In 2016, it was revealed that the United States government had been conducting its own investigation of anomalous phenomena, including those reported at Skinwalker Ranch, through a classified program known as the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, ATIP. The existence of AATIP was first disclosed by Luis Elizondo, a former military intelligence officer who had served as the program's director. According to Elizondo's revelations, the program had been initiated in 2007, with funding secured by Senator Harry Reid of Nevada, who had developed an interest in unexplained aerial phenomena and their potential implications for national security. The program's budget, though classified, was estimated to be in the tens of millions of dollars. ATIP's involvement with Skinwalker Ranch occurred through the program's contract with Bigelow Aerospace Advanced Space Studies, a subsidiary of Robert Bigelow's aerospace company. This contract provided the government with access to the research data and facilities that had been developed during the NIDS investigation. The arrangement allowed government investigators to build upon years of previous research while maintaining the security and compartmentalization required for classified programs. The government's interest in the ranch was driven by several factors. Intelligence analysts had noted that many reports of unexplained aerial phenomena occurred in proximity to sensitive military installations, nuclear facilities, and other locations of strategic importance. The ranch's documented history of unusual activities, combined with its proximity to military testing areas in Utah and Nevada, made it a location of particular interest for understanding potential threats to national security. The classified nature of the government investigation means that many details about their findings remain unknown to the public. However, documents released through Freedom of Information Act requests and statements by former program participants have provided some insights into the scope and nature of the government's interest in the ranch and similar phenomena. According to these sources, the government investigation focused on several key areas. The first was the development of advanced sensor technologies capable of detecting and analyzing phenomena that conventional equipment could not adequately measure. This included attempts to create sensors that could function reliably in the ranch's unusual electromagnetic environment and detect phenomena across a broader spectrum of frequencies and energy types. The second area of focus was the potential technological implications of the phenomena observed at the ranch. Government researchers were particularly interested in understanding whether the unusual properties of the location might provide insights into advanced propulsion systems, energy generation, or other technologies that could have military applications. The seemingly impossible flight characteristics of some phenomena observed at the ranch suggested technologies that were far beyond current human capabilities. The third area of investigation concerned the potential psychological and physiological effects of exposure to the ranch's phenomena. Government researchers documented cases of individuals who had experienced lasting changes in perception, cognitive function, and in some cases physical health after extended exposure to the ranch's environment. Understanding these effects was considered important for both protecting personnel and potentially developing applications for enhanced human performance. The government investigation also revealed connections between the ranch and other locations where similar phenomena had been reported. Intelligence analysts identified patterns in the geographical distribution of such locations, often finding correlations with geological features, proximity to military installations, or historical significance to indigenous populations. This suggested that the ranch might be part of a larger network of locations with similar properties. One of the most significant aspects of the government investigation was its multidisciplinary approach. The program brought together experts from physics, engineering, biology, psychology, and intelligence analysis to create a comprehensive understanding of the phenomena. This approach differed from previous investigations that had focused on single aspects of the ranch's anomalies. The government research also included attempts to understand the ranch's phenomena within the context of advanced theoretical physics. Some researchers theorized that the ranch might be a location where conventional spacetime exhibited unusual properties, possibly related to quantum mechanical effects or other exotic physics. These theories remained highly speculative, but they provided frameworks for understanding phenomena that seemed to violate conventional physical laws. The classification of the government's research has meant that many questions about their findings remain unanswered. However, the very existence of such a program demonstrates the serious attention that the ranch's phenomena received at the highest levels of government. The investment of significant resources in investigating the ranch suggests that government officials believed the phenomena might have important implications for national security or technological development. In 2017, the AATIP program was officially terminated, though some observers believe that similar research continues under different organizational structures. The end of the program coincided with increased public disclosure about government interest in unexplained phenomena, including the release of military videos showing encounters with unidentified aerial phenomena. The government's investigation of Skinwalker Ranch represents a unique intersection of scientific research, national security concerns, and the investigation of unexplained phenomena. While many details remain classified, the existence of such programs demonstrates the serious attention that government agencies have given to understanding locations and phenomena that challenge conventional scientific understanding. The legacy of the government investigation continues to influence current research at the ranch and similar locations. The technologies developed during the classified program, the analytical frameworks created by government researchers, and the institutional knowledge gained from years of investigation have all contributed to ongoing efforts to understand the ranch's mysteries. In 2016, Skinwalker Ranch entered yet another phase of its mysterious existence when it was purchased by Brandon Fugel, a successful real estate developer and technology entrepreneur from Salt Lake City. Unlike previous owners who had approached the ranch with primarily ranching or research interests, Fugel brought a technology-focused perspective to understanding the property's anomalous phenomena. Fugel's approach to investigating the ranch represents a synthesis of traditional scientific methodology with cutting-edge technology and modern data analysis techniques. His team, led by astrophysicist Dr. Travis Taylor, has implemented what they describe as a whole spectrum approach to studying the ranch's phenomena, utilizing everything from traditional scientific instruments to advanced artificial intelligence systems for pattern recognition and analysis. The modern investigation team has installed one of the most sophisticated monitoring systems ever deployed at a single location. This includes a network of high-resolution cameras capable of operating across multiple spectrums of light, from infrared to ultraviolet, distributed throughout the ranch to provide comprehensive coverage of all activities. The system can automatically detect and track anomalous objects or phenomena, using machine learning algorithms to distinguish between normal environmental events and potentially significant anomalies. The team's electromagnetic monitoring capabilities represent a significant advancement over previous investigations. They have deployed a network of sensors that can detect electromagnetic anomalies across an unprecedented range of frequencies, from extremely low-frequency radio waves to high-frequency gamma radiation. This comprehensive monitoring has revealed complex patterns of electromagnetic activity that were previously undetectable. One of the most significant technological innovations introduced by the current research team is the use of advanced radar systems specifically designed to detect and track phenomena that might not be visible to conventional sensors. These systems can penetrate atmospheric conditions, detect objects regardless of their stealth characteristics, and track multiple targets simultaneously. The radar data is integrated with other sensor information to create a comprehensive picture of activity throughout the ranch. The team's approach to data analysis represents another major advancement in the investigation of the ranch's phenomena. Rather than relying solely on human observation and interpretation, they have implemented artificial intelligence systems that can process vast amounts of sensor data in real time, identifying patterns and correlations that might be missed by human analysts. These systems can detect subtle changes in environmental conditions, unusual electromagnetic signatures, and other indicators of anomalous activity. The modern research team has also placed significant emphasis on understanding the ranch's geological and environmental characteristics. They have conducted extensive ground-penetrating radar surveys to map the underground cave systems and identify previously unknown geological features. These surveys have revealed a more complex underground environment than was previously known, with caverns and passages that extend far beyond the ranch's boundaries. The team's biological investigations have benefited from advances in veterinary science and animal behavior analysis. They have implemented comprehensive health monitoring systems for the ranch's livestock using sensors that can detect subtle changes in animal behavior, stress levels, and physiological indicators. This approach has provided new insights into how the ranch's phenomena affect living organisms. One of the most intriguing aspects of the modern investigation has been the team's experiments with active investigation techniques. Rather than simply observing and documenting phenomena, they have conducted controlled experiments designed to potentially stimulate or interact with the ranch's anomalous properties. These experiments have included directed electromagnetic emissions, acoustic experiments, and other attempts to establish some form of communication or interaction with the phenomena. The results of these active investigations have been both fascinating and perplexing. The team has documented instances where their experimental activities seem to produce immediate responses in the form of electromagnetic anomalies, unusual light phenomena, or other events that appeared to be directly related to their actions. However, these responses have been inconsistent and difficult to reproduce, suggesting a level of complexity that challenges traditional experimental methodology. The team's investigation has also revealed new aspects of the ranch's phenomena that were not documented in previous studies. They have identified areas of the property where gravitational anomalies appear to occur, regions where conventional physics seems to operate differently, and zones where electronic equipment exhibits behaviors that are inconsistent with known technology. These discoveries have expanded the scope of the mystery and provided new avenues for investigation. The modern research team has also implemented comprehensive medical monitoring for all personnel working on the ranch. This includes regular health assessments, psychological evaluations, and monitoring for any potential effects of exposure to the ranch's unusual environment. This approach has provided valuable data about the potential health implications of working in locations where anomalous phenomena occur. The team's findings have been documented through multiple media, including scientific publications, documentary films, and a television series that has brought the ranch's mysteries to a global audience. This public documentation represents a significant departure from previous investigations, which were often conducted in secrecy or with limited public disclosure. The modern investigation has also revealed the importance of interdisciplinary collaboration in understanding the ranch's phenomena. The team includes experts from physics, engineering, biology, psychology, and other fields, working together to develop comprehensive theories about the ranch's unusual properties. This collaborative approach has proven more effective than previous investigations that focused on single aspects of the phenomena. The current research team's work has also contributed to broader understanding of similar phenomena at other locations. They have identified patterns and characteristics that appear to be common to locations where anomalous phenomena occur, suggesting that the ranch might be part of a larger network of unusual locations that share similar properties. As decades of investigation into Skinwalker Ranch have accumulated data, documentation, and personal experiences, researchers have developed various theories to explain the phenomena associated with this remarkable location. These theories range from conventional scientific explanations to more speculative ideas that challenge our fundamental understanding of reality itself. One of the most widely discussed theories suggests that the ranch's phenomena might be related to its unique geological characteristics. The property sits atop a complex network of underground caverns and unusual mineral deposits that could potentially create conditions for electromagnetic anomalies, acoustic effects, or other environmental phenomena. Some researchers have proposed that the interaction between underground water systems, mineral deposits, and the ranch's specific geological formations might create conditions that could account for at least some of the reported phenomena. The geological theory gained support from the documented electromagnetic anomalies at the ranch. The high concentrations of magnetic minerals in certain areas, combined with the complex underground cave systems, could potentially create conditions for unusual electromagnetic effects. These effects might manifest as interference with electronic equipment, unusual light phenomena, or other observable events that could be mistaken for more exotic explanations. Another significant theory focuses on the possibility that the ranch's phenomena might be related to atmospheric or meteorological conditions unique to the location. The ranch's elevation, its position in the winter basin, and its relationship to surrounding mountain ranges create specific atmospheric conditions that might contribute to optical illusions, unusual acoustic effects, or other environmental phenomena that could be misinterpreted as anomalous events. Some researchers have proposed that the ranch's phenomena might be related to psychological or consciousness-based effects. This theory suggests that certain locations might have properties that affect human perception, memory, or consciousness in ways that could create the impression of anomalous phenomena. The consistency of reports from different individuals and time periods could be explained by the location's effect on human psychology rather than by external phenomena. The consciousness-based theory is supported by documented cases of individuals who report lasting changes in their perception or cognitive function after extended exposure to the ranch. These changes might indicate that the location has properties that affect human consciousness in measurable ways. However, this theory raises complex questions about the nature of consciousness and its relationship to physical reality. More speculative theories have suggested that the ranch's phenomena might be related to advanced technologies or intelligences that are not yet understood by conventional science. These theories propose that the ranch might be a location where non-human intelligence conducts research, testing, or other activities that occasionally become visible to human observers. While these theories are difficult to test using conventional scientific methods, they provide explanations for phenomena that seem to demonstrate intelligence or purposefulness. The technological theory gained some support from the seeming responsiveness of the ranch's phenomena to human activities and the apparent intelligence demonstrated by some of the reported events. The ability of the phenomena to seemingly avoid detection by monitoring equipment, to respond to human actions, and to demonstrate sophisticated behaviors suggests either advanced technology or some form of intelligence that operates according to principles not yet understood by human science. Some researchers have proposed that the ranch's phenomena might be related to advanced physics concepts such as quantum mechanics, dimensional interfaces, or exotic energy sources. These theories suggest that the ranch might be a location where the normal rules of physics are modified by conditions that mainstream science has not yet identified or understood. While these theories are highly speculative, they provide frameworks for understanding phenomena that seem to violate conventional physical laws. The quantum mechanical theory is particularly intriguing because it suggests that the ranch might be a location where quantum effects occur at a macroscopic scale. If the ranch's environment somehow amplifies or stabilizes quantum effects, it could potentially account for phenomena that seem to involve instantaneous communication, matter transformation, or other effects that are consistent with quantum mechanics, but not normally observable at the scale of everyday experience. The interdimensional theory proposes that the ranch might be a location where multiple dimensions or realities intersect, creating conditions where phenomena from other dimensions occasionally become visible in our reality. This theory, while highly speculative, provides an explanation for phenomena that seem to appear and disappear without following conventional physical laws, and for entities or objects that don't conform to known categories of matter or energy. The implications of the ranch's phenomena extend far beyond the boundaries of the property itself. If the reported phenomena are real and represent previously unknown aspects of reality, they could revolutionize our understanding of physics, consciousness, and the nature of existence itself. The potential technological applications of understanding these phenomena could include advances in energy generation, propulsion systems, communication technologies, and medical treatments that are currently beyond our imagination. The study of Skinwalker Ranch has also contributed to broader discussions about the nature of scientific investigation itself. The ranch's phenomena seem to challenge traditional scientific methodology, which relies on reproducible experiments and objective observation. The apparent responsiveness of the phenomena to observation and the difficulty in reproducing specific events under controlled conditions suggest that new approaches to scientific investigation might be necessary for understanding certain types of phenomena. The ranch's investigation has also highlighted the importance of interdisciplinary collaboration in addressing complex mysteries. The phenomena at the ranch seem to involve aspects of physics, biology, psychology, geology, and other fields simultaneously. Understanding these phenomena requires experts from multiple disciplines working together to develop comprehensive theories and experimental approaches. The cultural and spiritual significance of the ranch continues to be an important aspect of its investigation. The long history of indigenous recognition of the area's unusual properties suggests that some aspects of the phenomena might be better understood through traditional knowledge systems than through conventional scientific approaches. Integrating indigenous perspectives with modern scientific investigation could provide new insights into the ranch's mysteries. The ranch's phenomena have also raised important questions about the relationship between consciousness and physical reality. Many of the reported experiences at the ranch seem to involve direct interaction between human consciousness and environmental phenomena. Understanding this relationship could provide insights into fundamental questions about the nature of consciousness and its role in shaping perceived reality. The ongoing investigation of Skinwalker Ranch represents one of the most comprehensive and systematic attempts to understand anomalous phenomena using modern scientific methods. While definitive explanations for the ranch's mysteries remain elusive, the investigation has generated valuable data, developed new investigative techniques, and contributed to broader discussions about the nature of reality and scientific investigation. The ranch continues to generate new phenomena and new questions for researchers. Each investigation seems to reveal new layers of complexity and new aspects of the mystery that require further study. The property has become a unique laboratory for investigating the boundaries of conventional science and exploring phenomena that challenge our fundamental assumptions about reality. As research continues, the ranch serves as a reminder that our understanding of the universe is far from complete. The phenomena at Skinwalker Ranch, whether ultimately explained through conventional science or through new paradigms, demonstrate that reality is far more complex and mysterious than our current knowledge suggests. The ranch invites us to remain open to possibilities that challenge our preconceptions and to continue investigating the unknown with curiosity, rigor, and wonder. The legacy of Skinwalker Ranch extends beyond its physical boundaries to influence how we approach the investigation of unexplained phenomena throughout the world. The methodologies developed at the ranch, the technologies created for its investigation, and the collaborative approaches pioneered by its researchers have applications for understanding anomalous phenomena at other locations and in other contexts. Perhaps most importantly, Skinwalker Ranch serves as a symbol of humanity's endless curiosity about the unknown and our willingness to investigate phenomena that challenge our understanding of reality. The ranch reminds us that mystery and wonder are essential aspects of existence, and that some of the most profound discoveries come from investigating phenomena that initially seem impossible or inexplicable. As we conclude our journey through the mysteries of Skinwalker Ranch, we're left not with definitive answers, but with a deeper appreciation for the complexity and wonder of existence itself. The ranch stands as a testament to the idea that reality is far stranger and more beautiful than we can imagine, and that the greatest discoveries often come from embracing mystery rather than avoiding it. If you've enjoyed this exploration into one of the world's most mysterious places, I'd be grateful if you could take a moment to subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. Your support helps me continue creating these in-depth, sleep-friendly documentaries about the world's most fascinating mysteries. There's so much more to explore together, from ancient civilizations to modern scientific mysteries, and your engagement helps make that possible. The stories of Skinwalker Ranch, from ancient indigenous traditions to modern scientific investigations, remind us that we live in a universe full of wonders that we're only beginning to understand. Whether the ranch's phenomena ultimately prove to be explicable through conventional science, or require entirely new paradigms of understanding, they serve as an invitation to remain curious, open-minded, and ready to explore the boundaries of the known and the unknown. In the quiet of this moment, as we reflect on the mysteries we've explored together, perhaps we can find peace in the recognition that some questions are more valuable than their answers. The ranch, with all its mysteries and wonders, continues to beckon investigators, researchers, and curious individuals who are drawn to the frontier between the known and the unknown, the explicable and the mysterious. And so the mystery continues, as it has for generations, inviting us to look beyond the boundaries of conventional understanding and to remain open to the infinite possibilities that exist in our vast and wonderful universe. The ranch sleeps tonight under the same stars that have witnessed its mysteries for countless generations, ready to reveal new wonders to those brave enough to seek them.